and we already wasted 10 minutes of time. Okay, cool. All right, guys. First of all, a very, very happy Easter to all of you.
Hello?
Yes, Kashif?
Yes, Kashif. Yes.
Yes, Kashif, you were saying something. Okay, fine. No worries. All right, guys. So today we are going to look at resource leveling and resource analysis. Basically, that's going to be the major topic for today. With that, we'll also cover documents, notebooks, and feedback. As usual, what we'll do is we'll take one by one, we'll take the slides and then we'll show it to you, demonstrate to you in the software into P6. And then after, we'll take all the questions in the last 10 or 15 minutes. So if that sounds fair, we are starting. Yep. All right. So what is resource analysis? Like, we put the resources yesterday, we assigned it to the activities, and everything looks, I mean, for a normal project, it's like over. What else needs to be done? But no, it's a raw form. And, once the activities are assigned with the resources and estimation of activities and project are over, you must analyze the resources to know whether the resources are over allocated or under allocated. If there is a condition where resources are over or under allocated, leveling needs to be done. Basically, there are two ways to analyze the resources. One way which I like the most is through resource histograms, and the other way is through resource spreadsheet feature in P6. I would, I would request Jhala to show you the resource histogram feature in P6 on one of the existing projects that we've created in P6 for this training. Just let me open P6. Okay, over to you, Jhala.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Yes, guys. See, basically, after doing a resource assignment in a Primavera, before starting execution activity, we must have to analyze resources. Otherwise, when doing parallel activities, or we can say whenever resources are demanding with the multiple activities at the same time, it will be going to very much problematic for the project execution. So before starting with the execution, we must have to analyze and level those for proper optimization of resources during execution. So let me show you one simple example of analysis and leveling. So you will get a proper idea. So I'm not going to take many resources. I'm just going to take a single resource to show you how it looks. So for that, we'll see in our resources we have, and mostly only with the labor resources we are doing a leveling, because material we have to pick up as per our execution needs, and even equipments are available for 24/7, so we don't have a problem with materials and equipments. For the labor resources, we have to analyze and label the resource. Okay, so here I'm adding a new level, or whatever the existing level we have, we can use directly from there only. So just a minute. Yesterday we have added one resource named Mukesh. So like we said, Mukesh is working for 5 into 10 per day, and the costing of that particular resource is like something. Okay, so while we are doing a leveling, there's any impact of costing in that. But let me go to analyze. See, I'm some set of activities, and I'm not adding a relationship between their activities. Like I have added 4 activities here, no matter whatever the name of activity. But I'm just going to show you how it will adding a single resources with all activities simultaneously means I'm assigning a Mukesh to all their activities at the same time. So how it looks, let me show you. Resource,
Just make it global.
yeah, filtered by. So here I'm assigning a Mukesh. Okay, fine. So now we can analyze. See, we are just making a dummy example to getting proper understanding. Like I have assigned Mukesh to all the activities simultaneously. I haven't given any relationship between activities. Or you see that while we are doing a planning, somewhere we have created a set of activities, and definitely the activities are coming they are placed in the same time duration, or you can say in the same dates, and definitely there is a so many people those who are working in planning, so they will pick the mukesh in a different activities at the same time. So whenever we are analyzing, we have option from so on bottom, that is the two options are there: resource usage profile and resource usage spreadsheet. So I'm selecting a resource usage profile. So here we are getting we can say here we are getting a Gantt chart option. So how it looks, let me show you. Here we have to do filter by current project resources only. So here I'm getting a Mukesh. So you can see that the limit per day limit of the Mukesh is 10 hours per day. But because of all the activities are going to plan in the same time, that's why it looks overallocated. So from this graph, we can analyze there is a limit line. Mukesh is working for 5 days and 10 hours, so limit line is up to 10 hours. And Primavera is demanding of this resource up to 40 hours. So one more view we have is a spreadsheet. So from spreadsheet, we can
Resource
exactly
spreadsheet.
analyze how many hours per day it will require. So you can see Mukesh is allocated with these four activities simultaneously. So the per day Mukesh have to work for almost 40 hours. So practically it's not possible to do. So that's why we need a leveling. So what is actually exactly definition of leveling? In a simple words, whenever we have a resource constraint, whenever we have a resource overloaded, we have to increase the duration of activity. That's called a leveling. So in Primavera, we have two options like automatic leveling, and we just have given the name like that: automatic leveling and manual leveling. Automatic leveling will help you only to analyze if you have a lack of resource. Then, if there is no relationship between activities, or we can say parallel activities, then Primavera will help you to analyze if you have a specific resources only, then how many days you have to complete this entire activity. So resource can feasible to work properly. Like here I'm opening a graph again, bottom part. Then I have a resource analysis tool here. So I'm sorry, resource leveling option I have here. So whenever you are go through resource leveling option, there is some basic settings are there. We always have to put the settings like that only. So I'm just doing right now the entire activities will going to cover within a 4 days, because all the activities running in a same duration with the simultaneously. So whenever you are applying the leveling, it will produce the automatic leveling. Means definitely there is a single guy who is going to work with this entire activity. So he will work in a sequence manner. Means first he will complete the first activity, then second activity, then next activity. So it is a concept of leveling while we are doing a planning. So leveling is a part of planning. Before starting the execution, we have to uh, properly analyze the resource. Here you can say activity in activity we have we can say 4 days timing, but Mukesh is working for 5 days. Why? Because whatever the calendar we have selected for their activity, it's maybe Yeah, it's maybe a 4 days. That's why it looks like that. Okay, so from this Gantt chart, you can analyze also how the things are using here. Okay,
I,
so
I think the duration taken for the activities is 4 days, and that's why it is doing that way.
yeah, but again, we didn't have given the relationship. That's why it's happening. Actually, the project duration of the calendar is we have used either 5 days of that, but because
Hmm.
of this, we didn't have a relationship in that, so that's why it looks like that. So no matter, means it will show you that you have to spend 16 days to complete this entire activity with a single resource. So basically, it's a resource leveling techniques, automatic leveling. So definitely we have to link both all the activities in a critical part so resource can utilize properly. After that, I will apply the schedule also. Okay. So you can see maybe in this week only we have a where we have off on Friday and Monday. So let me skip. How can you skip it? Definitely we can skip it by doing a scheduling. So I will switching with the next one. Maybe I'm getting a proper timing because whatever the type of calendar we are using, it's basically some actual calendars. So that's why it looks like that. So here you can see it's properly utilized. Okay. So this is automatic leveling. Then what is a manual leveling basically? So in manual leveling, there is some theoretical concept it derived from PM book. We can say stretching and crunching. So simply, if I say, or if management demand like that, we have to complete this first activity in 2 days. Means we have revised some planning. So it looks like that. Means if you have a 2 days of job, then you have to utilize again a 40 man hours per day because you can say it from a spreadsheet also. Because definitely once you decrease the duration of activity, it will impact on resource pickup. And once you increase the duration of activity, it will impact to manage the resource level. So here I'm putting a stretching. Stretching means what? You don't have much resources to increase, so and definitely you have to increase the time. So whenever you are increasing the duration of activity, it's called it a stretching. Okay, but what is a crunching actually? You have to manage this activity in 2 days only. So definitely you have to make availability of resource up to 14 hours, 40 hours. So what we can do, definitely in first activity, we can assign uh, another resource with Mukesh because Mukesh is working 20 hours per day. It's not feasible. So I am putting another resource who is going to help to Mukesh to doing this activity. So whenever we are increasing the resource availability in the same job, but definitely the resource will be a same type of resource as a Mukesh. Just for example, I'm taking like a site installer, just for example. So we can divide working hours in both resources, means 10 hours Mukesh can work and rest of 10 hours site installer can be work. Means both resources we're going to use in the same job with the same time. So they both work for 20 hours per day, and definitely it will impact on graph. Means we have two resources here. So Mukesh can work for 20 hours, and another resource is also going to work for 20 hours. So 10 hours, sorry. So both will level proper. Okay. So that's the fundamental we can understand by using this graph and analyzing tool. But it's very much typical while you are doing with your actual job because here I'm just taking a single resource for making
Hmm.
analysis. But while you are doing an actual job, definitely there is a loss of resources are there. Like whatever the set of resources we have used, basically it's a real time, real life examples we are doing in our task. So we have made a leveling for this all the resources, and somewhere we have to analyze a stack histogram for just we can say analyzing a pickup pattern like we can say it's showing us in at which time you have to pick up a full frame of resources. So it's part of that, but mainly we are just going through these two windows like analysis for graph and spreadsheet, and then we can do automatic leveling, and also we can do a manual leveling by stretching and crunching. And one more thing I want to add in that. See, like we have a over allocated same thing. Sometimes we have a under allocated. So yesterday we forget to put in our slide, but let me show you just for your concept. Like if Mukesh is feasible for working 12 hours per day, then it looks like that. Means it's showing you under allocated. So whenever the resource is under allocated and you have to increase the resource pickup so it can work or it can utilize properly, we call it a resource smoothing. Means whenever you are decreasing the duration of activity, it will increase the resource pickup, but not that much of. It depends on our uh, need to manage. So it's something like that. Whenever you are putting decreasing the resource activity duration, it will impact on resource pickup. So it's vice versa. Whenever we have a resource under allocation, we can say we have to increase the duration, and whenever we have a resource whenever we have a resource under allocation, we have to decrease the duration, and whenever we have a resource over allocation, we have to increase the duration. So it's a vice versa. So something you can do, but it's very much we can say typical for some set, multiple set of resources. For single resources, we can do easily, but we have to go through the all the resources step by step to manage the leveling. And on the basis of that we are getting a finalized duration, because in such environment where we have a lack of resources, definitely we have to increase the time. In such situation when we have a under allocated resources, definitely we can decrease the time to increase the resource availability, or we can say resource utilization to work properly. It will impact on your project performance. Okay. Yes, Girish.
Okay, thank you, Jala. Thanks for explaining that. Basically, guys, I'll give you a practical example of what Jala is saying. It's very simple that in a project of 5 to 7 years, we always do some 3 month look ahead, and we adjust the resources according to the work ahead of us. I mean, that's the general practice in construction. But if you are having, if you're doing just if you're doing planning in just 3 months look ahead, you're missing the bigger picture, which is the budgeting. And sometimes due to client pressure, we are not able to finish uh, the project with the profit margin that we supposed we will. So in that case, I would also want Jala to show us our uh, our live
Yeah,
project wherein there were so many resources, and
definitely.
you know we had to manage. I mean, the entire work was to be done in 6 or 8 months time. So if there is a as a project manager, if you know from 2 years that there is a there is going to be a point wherein you will need some 600, 700 people at one point in time, wherein the normal count is going to be some 60, 70 people. It's going to increase by 10%. He can plan something in advance, and that planning is only possible if you do the bottom up approach. You
Yeah.
can't go by top down approach, and you can say you are able to plan properly. What happens is, in real life, is where when there is a tight requirement of labor, I mean, the project manager and the construction manager, everybody is rushing to get labor from anywhere. That's what
Mm.
I have seen. And at that point in time, when labor is required in next 1 month in order to produce results, it they badly, I mean, the even a helper becomes a mason, and fitter helper becomes a fitter, and we get deteriorated quality of people because we didn't plan for. And now there's a demand and there's an upsurge, and everything goes wrong. So in that case, in such cases, if we plan it from day one, we know what we need, when the right time comes, and we are prepared for that demand.
Yeah.
I would just request Jhala to show the current project wherein we were doing similar resource planning. Can we show that
Yeah.
to them?
Yes. And definitely we need a good set of people in our team. It's not like that a single person can do it. Uh, Basically, we need a site experience also, and according to that, we have to, because tool is very easy to do, but whatever the concept in your mind, you have to follow to managing the resources. So the tools will help you to analyze, and it will help you to detect the classes where the resources are demanding on the same time.
That's
Okay,
right.
so
Basically, it's garbage in, garbage out when when
yeah,
we are talking about the tool. Whatever you feed to Primavera, Primavera will give you results in that order. So if you feed garbage, you'll get garbage. If you feed the right information, you'll get the right answers.
yes.
Okay, so this is a
So
live project.
yeah, here we have a histogram, and let me make it a smaller.
Just take it to construction activities. No?
Okay.
Yeah, let me show them one of the construction phases.
Maybe this is not a proper one.
Is
Need to
this not a
assign. Because we have a lots of projects in our backup because we have to
just a
give a look
moment?
ahead.
Just a moment. I'll deal with this. Just a moment. Give it to me. Okay. I don't think this is resource loaded. Just a moment. No, this is not resource loaded.
This one is
Just a moment. Okay, okay. Where is it? Okay. Give me a moment. Okay, let's export this one and show it to them. Okay, give it to, okay, cool. Yeah, it's all right. It takes some time when the project is bigger. All right, cool. All resource. Okay. It's 2019 going on there. You need to be closer. Okay, this is the point that we are talking about.
Yeah. So,
This is a point
uh,
that I'm talking about. Can you go up to that point?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we have to go to the spreadsheet. So here we can say we can identify the activity number where we have assigned the set of resources. Like we have a cable workers. Is this person is working for that number of activity? So definitely there is a set of resources which are used with a different set of activity. So see, we are working in this type of mass project, and we are taking the gang resources. You can see we have picked up the resources in a in you can say in a bulk. So for the labors, especially for the site labors, we have to do that. For the skilled person, like we have an engineer, testing engineer, we are taking only 10 hours per day. Okay, in somewhere we have a core set of testing engineer. Even we can take it in a group. Okay, so for that we have created a stack histogram. It will show you properly how we can managing with that. Yeah, here we can get example. So in stack histogram, what this number of resources we have in specific with our ground light system, air-free ground light system, and it will show the pattern of usage. So you can just go through. It shows the total pickups of the resources in that hours. So here we are getting like bulk resources we have picked up. So stack histogram is like that. It will show the consumption pattern of resources in early to end. So once we started the activity, we need we can say the initial resources only. Once we'll start to doing major activities like in execution, it will going to be picked up. Okay, so as the rate is will going to be complete, it will decrease the resource pickup. So we have a stack histogram here. From that we can analyze all the resources simultaneously. But for the resource profile, we have to go to the individual resources. So if I can say in spreadsheet, we can analyze. We have to analyze all the resources like cable foreman, cable workers. So definitely there is a set of WBS we have in that project. So according to that, we have assigned the activities. But see, there is no any overallocation that much of in our example, because we have already taken a
Leveled
set
the
of
resources.
yeah. And again, we have managed the duration. Actually, this project is already resource leveled. That's why we are not getting any over allocation, because we have almost spent 2 months to level this entire resources. And then after we are getting a final plan, how many days it will take, and exactly how much labors we have to pick up, or how much availability of resources we have to demand. Because we have to consider a duration factor also, and parallelly we have to consider a resource availability factor of contractor also. Yes, Gift.
Yes, that's correct, guys. Actually, when we started doing, I mean, when we finished our resource allocation, at that point in time, the situation was everything was stacking up, and then we had to take a time out of almost 1.5 month, and we leveled all these resources just to make sure that uh, we are having enough number of people when the actual work comes. And if you see all those spreadsheets, because that's all, we can't show you all those things. uh, we need to maintain some data privacy for our clients as well. But if you see, there's a lot of effort that goes into resource leveling. uh, Resource allocation is very simple. I mean, whatever resource you need, you just put it. But then what happens is, you need to stretch the activities wherein there is no there is no way. Even if you have more resources, you can put, like, drilling up. drilling a pile. Now, I mean, piling. How many of you have done piling? I don't know, but if you have done piling in your life, you would understand it's not as simple as laying a brick wall. It's not laying a slab or a brick wall. It's like doing a piling. And if this pile is 100-meter depth, uh, you can't do anything. It takes as long as it takes, and you can't increase the resources, because what are you gonna do? You've got only 5 piles to work on, and each pile takes 30 days, and you can't even extend the resources because you haven't got that area, and it takes 30 days to drill the pile no matter what. So what are you going to do in such cases, such critical activities? uh, you can't increase the resources. You need to make some other arrangements and get some more access area from the client in order to deliver the project faster. So that's mostly about our experience with resource leveling,
Yeah.
and that's why I thought it's very important to cover resource leveling concept, uh, and how it will help a project.
Yes,
Fine, I think we should
definitely.
go to the next slide. We can address all your queries that you have at the at the end of the presentation. All right, so that's all about resource leveling and analysis. Most of the times, I prefer only manual leveling because their activities are in logical order. You can't do automatic leveling. Automatic leveling would basically use your float and distribute your resources. It's a first level of work that a machine that they do through a machine, through a this thing, by using the float. And of course, it's up to you to decide if you need a minimum 3 days or 1 week float. Even after the resources are leveled, you can do it in Primavera. um, and you can also increase the resources by 25 to 30% wherein there is a peak. That's also a feature for leveling the resources through auto level. Uh, the other thing that I appreciate the most is manual leveling. Yes, it takes time, but it gives you the correct logic, because each and every activity has a different set of logic, and you need to increase the resources or increase the duration based upon the logic, rather than just using the float and doing it. Like I said, drilling a hole or drilling a pile, or yeah, it's not very similar to doing brickwork. And even in brickwork, if a client asks you to do the whole brickwork in 1 day, 10 meters lift in 1 day, you can do that. There are constraints. So I would say manual leveling is the best way of leveling the resources.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we've covered a small topic which is not very much used, but I think with the cloud facility that has come along with P6, P6 is not only in Java form, it's in the web form now. And we would be using more of documents, notebooks, and feedback. So what is a WP, or a work product and document feature? We'll just understand the essence of it. So basically, all your documents, your procedures, your RFIs, your permits, your safety documents, like, your what do we say, safe work practice, safe working methodology, SWM. So basically, all those resources, you don't need to have a hard copy of it. You can just download all those documents from the activity wherein all these resources are required. So basically, all the permits for a basic activity, like, you're drilling, uh, let's say you're doing excavation. So all your documents pertaining to excavation will be attached to the excavation activity, so that the operations team, the owner, everybody knows what what is happening on this activity, what are the documents associated with it. That's basically the documents that you store inside Primavera uh, with the help of a feature called WP and documents. uh, Basically, there is another element called notebooks. But before that, I think Jala, we should show them what is WP and
Yeah.
documents and how to upload a document, and how a resource like an engineer or on the operations manager or anybody from the operations team or the client's team or our own workforce can view and validate those documents. Just we'll just have a look in P6.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Just a moment. I'll help you with that. All right. Okay. Cool.
Okay, guys. So definitely, documents and work products are very much important for any project. Whenever we initiating with the projects, we need a set of documents, and it will help us to understand the scope and we can say descriptions and whatever. So whatever the set of documents we have to use in a project, we have option to load the document in a Primavera.
Hmm.
Definitely, Primavera will also produce a set of reports which we can use to present to our top management. But actually, these all are the performance reports. So we have a work products and document option here in a Primavera. So we can attach the set of documents for that particular project in which we are working right now. So first, you have to create an entry. So those people, those who are working in documentation team in a project, they have access of this entire part. So they can create the document hierarchies and they can link the file with the document. Like I'm just taking an example. I'm taking a QA checklist. Sorry. So we can say it's a work product, means it's very much needful while we are doing a quality activities and we have to go through this checklist. So it's, we can say the deliverable means what a final report we can say, but it's a work product. So once we give the name of that document, there is some reference number which we can reflect from repository where we are storing this document. Then we have a set of categories and status. So it's on us. We can add a whatever the number of categories and status we need to assign with that document. So I'm just selecting here, like I have a template option. I'm selecting a template, and basically it's approved document. So I'm using it as a work product. So on how many number of revision we have made in that last revision on which date, XYZ who is authorized for that to producing. Then we have a description of this document, and the main thing, description means you can write about this QA checklist, whatever the description, whatever the content we have added in that. So for the user help, we can get some description of that document. And then we have a file. Here we are getting a two location, like a private location. We will pick the file from our system only. And we have a public location. It's like we can say a network path, or we can say repository from will we will put the documents. But for this system, we have a same part of the system, same we can go to. Like we have one PDF here. Let me just select it as a part of document. Okay, XML file is there. Then we have to means documentation team, we have to decide for which activity this document going to be help to map the execution. So they have a rights to assign, like for this form work, they have to, for this concreting they have to use this checklist. So definitely it is a work product, means a needful document for working on this activity. So once we assign make it as a work product, the whatever the resources, those who are working as a user of Primavera in that activity, they can visualize from the production documents. So they got indication like that it's a very much important document for doing this work. So they will just click on this detail, and then they are getting the entire information about this document. So once they will launch it, uh, definitely they can get the entire content in whatever the type of file they are using. Like there is some, we can say, uh, drawings, there is some Excel file, there is some PDF. So all things they can use to analyze the data. And even if they have a rights to, maybe there is something else I have to attach, because XML file is not going to open in that. So let me change the file for, or I can
Yeah, you
assign
can.
a different.
Let me help you with that, Jala. Let me
Yeah.
help you with that. I'll just open one file for you.
So whatever the file format you are assigning with the Primavera, the thing is that whatever the format of file you are using, it must be feasible to open in your environment so you can use it properly. So from here,
Just a moment, just a moment.
okay,
I put it at the wrong location.
no worry, we'll use the second file only. Fine.
Okay,
Fine.
cool.
Like if there is an Excel file and the person is working on activity,
Hmm.
he has a right to modify the Excel. So it's very much pretty means there is no need of sending emails to the activity or to that user. He's just getting the set of document from this activity only. Click on detail and he will launch the particular file, and whatever the daily progress he has did, he just update in that file, and it will automatically save in that file. And whenever the documentation person, or we can say the manager of that activity, will see the document, they will get a correct update of daily progress. So it's very much important concept that we are sharing the location of file only, so people can work simultaneously to managing a content update. But in normal routine, we have seen that we people are doing emails and getting reply in email. Then there is a lots of file in our emails. We are making a storage of that, and again, it's making a mess up to us. But here we are using a single file for sharing between all the resources and getting the updated information. So it will save the time, and definitely it's completely in environment of Primavera. So very much secure. We don't have to share this file on emails and all, because somewhere we have found that people are taking the files in their personal mails somewhere. So it's something like we can control our data, or we can say control our information in that premises only. And those who have access of Primavera, they can only visualize this information by getting a login in Primavera. Okay. So actually, it's a very vast topic, we can say, while we are working on cloud-based, because we need to set up the repositories and we can say documentation cloud. In that, we're getting a set of documentation types, and we are doing documentation processing also.
Right.
So for showing this topic is very much we can say simple, but while you are working in this topic, actually, definitely there is a thousands of document we are using to support the project, and definitely without this document we cannot even progress, or we can start the working in project. Like we have a drawings, like we have a work permits, like we have a safety clearance permits, and even we have some reports and feedbacks from the clients in routine basis. Okay, so here we can assign a documents with the activity level also, and with WBS level also. Means if you have to assign this document to the manager, then definitely we can put it in WBS level, and it will show in WBS. Okay, so that's the concept of working with the documentation in a Primavera. And definitely there is a separate team, those who are working in documentation, and they are assigning a documentation to the people, those who are working on site, and they are mapping the security of documentation also. Okay.
So that's very insightful, Jala. Thank you for that. Basically, guys, this is what we are doing with the help of Aconex as well. We'll detail and discuss how this works, and of course, I have covered something in the slide as well for that. Uh, Basically, all these emails, guys. Let's be honest. Nobody wants emails, and these emails. I mean, it's like it doesn't produce anything. It's just creating a sort of bureaucracy in organizations who are more relying on emails. So the whole concept is to get rid of emails, to be honest. Notebooks are like emails, correspondences, data tables, and web links, which can be assigned to activities, WBS projects as well. So basically, what happens here is all your important notes, minutes of meetings, your correspondences from the client, everything is uploaded in form of the notebooks. And you can it's up to the document controller to assign it on a particular activity or the project as a whole. So notebooks work like your PDF of the emails or important information from the client, which needs to be retrieved in order to carry out work on the site. uh, I like the third one the most, which is feedback. Why I like it is because here feedback can be given uh, a planner can give the feedback to the site when he thinks that the progress is not as per the plan, and the site can give feedback to the planner when they think that some constraints are not allowing the project to progress. And I think, Jala, we should just give them a bit of uh, an outlook of how feedbacks work. I mean,
Yes, Girish.
how feedbacks work from the resources point of view and how it works
Yeah,
from the planner's point of view.
definitely.
Yeah.
Let me switch with the software.
You want me to help you? Just a moment. That's our cloud. Okay, cool. Uh, Give me a moment. Yep. Okay,
Okay,
there
fine.
you are.
Yes. Okay, guys. Then we have two more topics in that, like we have notebooks and feedbacks. So notebooks, we can say in our daily routine of planning or execution or project control, whenever we have to put some information for the helping part, there is a notebook topics. So here we have a checkbox, whatever the set of topics we have added here. We have to tick the checkbox where we have to use this topic, like in recent accomplishment. We don't need in a EPS level. We just need in a project WB activity level. So it depends on your need. Like if I put a new topic, like I need a QA, so I don't need this
No,
QA at
just make it an RFI. They'll better understand who.
okay, RFI. Okay. So we'll use it at project and activity level because EPS and WBS both are the summary only. So we can use the notebooks with the activity option. We have a notebooks in. Let me close it first.
Yeah, I think you need to
In
do that.
WPS we have a notebooks option, and in projects also we have a notebooks option. So for projects we have a different notebooks options, and for the PS even we are selecting we have a different notebook options. So like I have added RFI, so I'm getting this RFI for project level. Okay, if I'm selecting the EPS level, okay, I have given a tick in that. That's why it's showing me. But once we go to the activity level, so we are getting a set of notebook topics. So like I'm selecting a RFI here, like I'm putting a constant here. So I can write something that relevant to that topic. Means I just modify these contents, and like I can write anything. Like I can also create a tables. Even I
You can
can
approve.
build some links. Like I'm just putting the link here for mapping any URL. Just for example, I'm just giving just for your knowledge. Like I'm putting a Google only. Means you don't have to go to the browser also. Once you are getting the set of links of that documents and file, you just click it that over it, and you will get a browser access in your Primavera only. So for security reason, somewhere we are not accessing external browsers, and we are just going to watch this entire information in our premises in Primavera. So it basically all we can do with that, and whatever the different set of information you have put it in that. Okay, even the daily progress update, whatever the issues. So topics we have given, so it's more feasible to write something relevant to that topic. So people can update according to their needs, and definitely they will produce this entire information after project completion in our reports also. So which activity we have with WBS, we have a set of notebook topics. Means just take a topic, put the information, and write something about that.
Mm.
Then we have a projects. In projects, we have for project also, and for EPS also we can write something. So it depends on the we can say the user needs and management need to be identify the details. So you can think it's very much important while you're working something, because we are working in a large project. There's hundreds of resources who are working as a user in a Primavera. I'm not saying the labors. So definitely they will put the information about their progress, and whenever they are doing a meetings, they
Mm.
will get proper updates regarding that point. And most important part, we have a feedback here. So notebook topics will help you for just getting and putting the information for the upcoming meetings and scenario. But here we have a feedback. It's something we can say live. Like live means there is no any messaging type of that. Primary will just storing this information with the database. Like we have a notes to the resource and feedback from the resources. If I say there is one manager is dealing with this entire civil activity, So manager will discuss with their resources, those who are working as a user, or maybe they are looking with that excavation PCC activities. So manager will ask for the update. I'm just taking as a dummy. So definitely, whenever the manager has posted the message and whatever the message he had delivered, so obviously there is a 2 3 people those who are working in this activity with a different perspectives. So they will put their progress percentage or something else they can answer. So definitely there is a 2 or 3 user or 2 or 3 resources those who are working on site. So manager will get the multiple messages from them. So after reading this all messages, manager will untick this new, means it will give the notification to the resources that our message got delivered to the top management. Again, management will ask something for further update. So it's completely, we can say, live chat. So even in a web version, they are getting a notification of that update in their
In their
browser.
email. Yep.
Yeah, in email also. So
Yep.
if like that, whatever the concern you are discussing regarding the site, it's completely legal. It is recorded in your activity. Even no one can delete it, even no one can edit it. Okay, so once you delete the activity, then it's possible only, but no one have a right to delete the activity. So it's a realistic. And even while we are doing debugging, or we can say while we are doing a claim digger work for the contractor, so even we can know the details of the contractor work did, and whatever the mistake they are making, we can just indicate them. So while doing billing and all, we can definitely, we can do some we can say reconciliation properly with the contractor pricing and work done. This is a very much important topic with the feedbacks, and it will be available for each and every activities. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Jala. That was really wonderful. I think it might have thrown some of the insights on their mind that we wanted to. Okay, now basically, AutoView is a product from Oracle. Basically, you can also upload your drawings associated with an activity or a WBS. So basically, AutoView is an Oracle product, and you can view all these drawings in AutoView. Aconex is a document control tool used by Oracle. It's a cloud-based tool, and it's really very useful for document control and correspondences between client and the contractor. Um, all these platforms are a part of Unifier, Primavera Unifier as well, wherein you have a claim, Primavera contracts, Primavera Oracle, Primavera P6, Aconex, EPPM, and you've got AutoView. So basically, EPPM is a wonderful source which shows you the whole project portfolio, which project is thriving, which project is doing well, which project is not having much priority and is not thriving. So there's a graph which you get, but it's mostly for executives. We level it that way, in a way that they are able to see all the projects as per the cash flow update. So basically, when the cash flow is updated on the project, they come to know whether the project is in good shape, is it making money for them or not. So what they can do is they can decide whether they need to move resources from the project which is not performing and is not a priority, to the project which is actually a priority and is not performing well. So basically what they are doing is, one project is not performing well, is not having priority, they are moving the resources to the project which is not doing well to make it do better. So all these decisions you come to know when you use EPPM. And yeah, I mean, these are all tools which are uh, very synchronized with each other, so that you can get the wholesome cloud experience of Primavera Unifier, as they say. So yeah, guys, that's all from us. Any questions from you guys? Yes, Azam, Kashif.
Yeah, I don't have much of the questions. What I just share my observations. Like while Zala was showing the resource leveling, it was not able to pick up the Friday and holiday. This Monday was not taking up resources. I think that was due to this Good Friday and Easter holiday. And
Yeah,
when
yeah,
he
that's right.
shifted it to May, that issue was covered up.
Yeah,
Am I correct or wrong?
yeah, yeah.
You
Yes, yes,
are
Azam.
You are 100% right, Azam. So what happens is these calendars have non-working periods, and I mean the calendar is very very basic. It's not considering period which is a non-working period, and it goes to the next working period that is available to it. And as lame as it sounds, but it does wonders in real life scenario. So that's right. That's a good observation.
Okay. And then the stretching. When we do stretching, it indicates that we have to pay overtime because the resource has some limitations of working like 8 hours.
Uh, Let
And
me correct you. Let me correct
okay,
you.
yeah.
Stretching is like that we are increasing the duration of activity. So again, the resource is getting a feasible time. But in a crunching, we have to pay the overtime because we have a time constraint, means you have to complete this activity in that number of days. So
Mhm.
definitely while you are working as a 8 hours, you will taking 5 days to complete a 50, 40 hours of job. But while
Mhm.
you have to complete this activity in a 4 days, definitely you have to give the 2 hours of overtime to that resource.
Okay, okay, okay. I think I mixed up the words.
Yeah, no worry. It's actually first time you're looking with that. That's why.
Oh, you caught up a lot, believe me. When I first looked at Primavera some 8 years, 7 years back, I remember I didn't have anything to ask because I was like dumbfounded. I was not able to understand it. But yes, with
No, you
experience
guys
comes
are
expertise. You're right.
you guys are explaining it very well. That's why I'm able to get those things.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So there was two, three more minor things, not very
Hmm.
great. This work products and documents. I had doubt, but Zala explained it that it can be accessed only through Primavera. What
Yeah.
I feel is not everyone in the organization has access to Primavera, considering the cost of the software.
Okay.
Okay,
So
let
what
let
if?
me intervene here. You are
Okay.
right. Previously, with the Java version, not everybody was able to access it, but
Mhm.
with the cloud version, it's becoming more and more easier and more cheaper for users. That's my kid. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
guys. That's my
That's okay.
kid over there. Okay, uh, so guys, just a moment. Give me a moment.
No issues, no issues. It's no not nothing to worry.
Yes. Basically, Assam is something
Yeah.
like that. We have lots of other tools are there with integrated with the Primavera with cloud
Mhm.
base. So
Okay.
definitely those who don't have access to Primavera, they can even coordinate with documentation part like we have Acumax and all.
Okay.
So it's not like that all user can getting access of Primavera, but that user have to work with the documentation. So
Mhm.
definitely there is other tools are there we can go through because
Okay.
planning is we can say very much precious to manage through entire project life. So
Understood.
not all resources will get access of that. Only those who are working as a lead planner or maybe a project controller team, they
Mhm.
have access of that. Rest of people they are using this documentation power from other tools like
Some
we
other
have already,
tools.
yeah,
Okay.
we have already loaded on cloud. So see, there is a more than 14 to 18 products in cloud Oracle is providing.
Mhm.
Yes, so Primavera Professional, we are working right now on that. Then Primavera EPPM is again a part of that cloud. So once you start looking with this all things, slowly you are getting the next level of understanding to using the separate platform integration with the Primavera. And definitely it depends on the environment you are working, if they are feasible for, we can say, affording this software and they're implementing this entire system in that environment, then they can do it properly.
Understood. It's clear now.
Yeah.
Yes, Azam, basically, per license cost of Primavera P6 is somewhere around 58 to 60 bucks and per user. So you're talking peanuts when you're talking about projects which are 100 million, 200 million projects, USD projects.
Mhm.
This amount is peanuts, and mostly, this access is going to be only with the team leaders of particular team. Like, the project manager, planner, your construction manager, your document controller, your estimation guy. So all these people would only have access to this The Java version that we are using is only for planners. The reason being, he has to do a lot of work there. The other guys, they are just monitoring. So basically, EPPM, if you see, if they buy a license version of EPPM, I don't think it is much cost on the cloud. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jala. I mean, that's what
Yeah,
we are.
because in that we are just getting the we can just scheduling and whatever the software we are looking right now, it's a part of EPPM, and it's like an add-on. Whatever the set of services you're going to add, it will going to be increased with your costing. But definitely, while you are considering as a we can say enterprise level for your company, the cost will be high. But once you go to the single user or we can say the trial user, it's not that much of we can say quite expensive.
Okay,
Yep,
got it.
yep. So the web version is not that expensive. It's like,
I think the cost of that web version. Frankly, I'm just saying whatever the earlier licensing we did with our clients, the web version cost will be up to we can say for the single. I just saying the single user. Even you cannot place the number of user. For this number of user, we have to pay the separate amount. The single user license of web version is about we can say 1 lakh in Indian rupees. I'm saying that it's about 1.8 or 2 lakhs rupees. In AU, I can say it's about maybe a
but
6,000 to 6,500
yep,
dollar.
Okay,
yep. Yeah, I mean,
understood.
when we are talking about millions of dollars of project, I don't think this is much cost when it comes to big contractors and big firms like,
Yes,
uh,
yes.
yeah. So, all right, Kashif has sent me a message saying, "Sorry guys, I have to leave for work now. Great effort on your part." Okay, I mean, are we able to clear that query over there, Azam?
Yes, 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 sir. It's
Good,
all
good,
clear now.
good.
Thank you.
Anything else do you have?
No, 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 no. That's enough from my
Okay.
side. No more questions.
Okay, fine, guys. Thank you so much for participating. We look forward to seeing you on next Saturday. I think most of the people are they are not very happy with 2 o'clock.